Hello, my name is Austin, and this is Go Access, a YouTube channel dedicated to access in higher education and disability rights. Today is Friday, so I'm going to be doing a quick news roundup of the week. The big news I really wanted to cover was what Apple is introducing in macOS Catalina. Apple is actually going to be introducing a brand new accessibility feature that rivals Drag and Dictate for Mac, which is a good thing because Drag and Dictate for Mac is being discontinued. They are no longer going to be updating the software for Mac, the Mac version, and they're not going to be producing a new version of Drag and Dictate for Mac. What Apple demoed at the Worldwide Developers Conference should hopefully make Drag and Dictate for Mac not be missed too much. This is because they are introducing the same dictation features that Drag and Dictate for Mac includes. This means that you will be able to have the machine learning of Apple learning what words you say and being able to choose from a list of words to correct spelling and change the words that Siri is using if it inputs the wrong word. For example, my wife's spelling of her name is different than how she normally is spelled, and I have to keep correcting it by Siri over and over again. So that is one thing that I think is really cool that's being added. Another element being added is the ability to control the macOS operating system with your voice. This means you'll be able to say open an application and Siri will open that application. You'll be able to say copy, paste, those type of things with your voice, and Siri will perform those tasks. It is similar to what Drag and Dictate for Mac offered, and hopefully will be a lot more stable and easier to use and implement with less glitches. That's my hope. Another accessibility feature being added is in iOS 13, where now the accessibility feature will no longer be hidden in the back of the settings menu under General and then additional features or whatever. It's now going to be a regular accessibility tab that you can just click and scroll through at the very front of the settings. In addition, you are now going to have options for color blindness. This means that you can change the color profile depending on what color blindness you have to try and mitigate that issue. I think that is a really great feature for Apple. I'm actually looking forward to trying that out because I have a little bit of color blindness myself. In addition, I think that those features and bringing accessibility to the forefront is something that's really important, and I'm very excited that Apple has decided to do that. In other news, I thought it was I found an interesting article relating to the U.S. welfare system, meaning a lot of children who are in orphanages and those types of environments, and how roughly half of those children have a disability, and how important it is for everything to be in place to encourage them to go to college. And basically, they need the encouragement from whoever they're staying with, their foster parents and such, to be able to do that, as well as creating a more accessible college campus where the campus is meeting the current ADA guidelines for buildings and having the older buildings be retrofitted or torn down and rebuilt, and introducing more website accessibility as well. And it's a really interesting point that half of the children in the welfare system have a disability roughly, and that we should really be looking to be able to support them and help them go to college. Lastly, I saw an interesting article from CNET talking about accessibility and how it still needs to be rolled out into more technology to make it accessible, and that roughly people with disabilities are 20% less likely to own a computer still, which is very surprising considering the era that we live in. And we really need to continue to update our software to include accessibility features. And then it kind of talked about some of the new accessibility features that Google's rolling out with like live captioning and stuff like that, and also how Microsoft has released the new Xbox accessibility controller, and how hopefully we will see more companies focusing in on accessibility. I think that the online tutoring companies should really consider accessibility as well, as I mentioned previously, and I hope that that happens in the future too. Anyway, those are just a couple articles I found that I thought I'd share. I hope you're having a great week and a happy Friday.